Hello again, PCQI, and welcome back to our All About Compliance channel. In this segment, we're going to be talking about product labeling and compliance statement. Here we go again. Welcome back, PCQI, and thank you for joining us in our segment of product labeling and compliance statement. So in this particular scenario, you have a customer that's either you're providing your finished product to be made part of their process to add or incorporate to their finished product, right? So as in this role or in this scenario, you are a co-manufacturer or a co-packing provider for this. So that's one scenario that we're going to touch on. The other scenario is you are the brand owner and you're working with the co-packer or a co-manufacturer. And now the questions of product label compliance comes about, and you are given a compliance statement, which will go over this product labeling and compliance statement. So first things first, I made some notes here, PCQI, of why this come about in our segment. So first thing is why do you need to issue or have your customer signs? Okay, you are now the co-packer or co-manufacturer at this point. So let me repeat that. Why do you need to issue or have your customer signs these type of compliance statement? So the first scenario that I put here is customers are buying from your facility and that the materials are going to be used for another process or made part of their finished product. Or they are just a brand owner and uses your facility as a co-packer or a co-manufacturer. Now, what we've seen in some of the customer requirements, obviously it's superseding the regulatory requirement. This is where, as a PCQI, you're kind of caught of your area of responsibilities. Does it stop? The part of the customer requirement specification comes in and basically says, okay, we just want you to, process our product, basically receive our raw materials. You do your mixing and blending or production process per se, and it goes to this stage. You're going to send it to us, and we're going to take care of it, based on our food safety management system, or you're going to fulfill all of these things until to the finished product, and we want the finished product, to be released with these requirements. So as a PCQI, sometimes when you step back and you look at it and you start asking a lot of questions, well, who's going to do the product release program? Are we testing it for, certain pathogens or toxins or whatever the regulatory requirements is for RTE or non-RTE classification? So all of these things will start popping up. So now, if you are superseding the regulatory requirements, so the customer is now taking responsibility for this next process of making sure that that product is safe and it's not adulterated per the requirements. So now you're going to issue a statement of compliance for your customer to sign off on it. So part of this is the purpose of the statement is to ensure that the listed finished product meets the 21 CFR Part 101 requirements. So that's another part of it is on the label. If it's a finished product, make sure it meets that. Assumption of responsibility either by the brand owner or the co-man or the co-packer will then be described and basically assume at this point who's doing what on this statement. Okay, so after you prepare this statement, which I'll go over in some of those content, and these are fully customizable to your process. Okay, so you need to collect the signed copies for each finished product on an annual basis or when changes occur to the product specification and label claims and all of the other process of deviations on the raw materials and other aspects of your formula or recipe basically falls into the product specifications category. So now let's get to the statement. So basically the statement is The company name is there, so whoever assuming or signing these off, it's going to say ensure that the listed product meets the requirement per 21 CFR subpart B, part 101 of the Food Labeling, Food Safety Modernization Act's FSBP program for food importers and the US FDA Food Labeling Guide. And then there's going to be a section there that has a product label name, and you're going to enter those product labels that you're working with this customer and the UPC codes, okay, for that, or GTIN number, or whatever that number is designated to that finished product name. Some co-manufacturers and co-packers, they have a product ID for every customer. So you want to put as much detail as you can on the statement, for that. Now, the reference on this one, for this letter, obviously you're going to have this statement drawn up either by your legal department in some sort, or you have an example from another customer that already went through that process, or we generated this for you to comply with the applicable Code of Federal Regulations. So in this particular scenario, the example that we are working with references from 21 CFR subpart B, part 101 Food Labeling, Food Safety Modernization Act, Foreign Supplier Verification Program for food importers, and then we actually put the CFR code link, which will include in the description for this. So if you're curious to what that looks like, you can look at that. We're also putting a reference on US FDA Food Labeling Guide, and they're linked for that, and the voluntarily standard for labeling, in this particular case, for a certain product category. This is actually for customization in this part of it. So if you are dealing with RTE or non-RTE products, or different type of product category like baked goods, maybe for raw foods and whatnot, we will put all of those information on this voluntarily standard for labeling requirements. And then on the bottom part of it, it's going to have signatory for the person that's basically accepting this responsibility of taking that product testing requirements, prior to releasing of this product. But this compliance statement is just literally, it's an end point and a beginning point for the next process. So as a co-manufacturer or a co-packer, you know where your responsibility ends when it comes to the food safety aspect of what you do, for your customer. So if it ends at this point, we just, make it and pack it and send it to them. They then take that product and then they do their testing for whatever their requirements are, per regulatory requirements as well. And then they move forward in releasing that and just letting you know it is then released. Go ahead, our trucks are in the back and they're gonna come and pick it up. You're fully covered as a PCQI at that point on your preventive controls, for that. Now, make sure these are signed and collected. I know there's a lot of different aspect with customer requirements where you do so much of the process and then they take over, or you do all of the process and it's up to them to give you a go or no go, to release that. So make sure those are all itemized, okay? Sometimes this is where things happen where I'm a PCQI and there are no requirements that are cleared and there are no sign off on these type of statements, and then I'm then gonna push for all the product release testing that I need to do as a PCQI to release that product, and then I get a pushback from other, let's say the sales department or customer care department, or to the customer themselves saying, why did you perform that? You weren't supposed to do that. We're going to be doing that because we are then taking this process and doing that. So make sure those are cleared. Also cost, because if you're performing this non-essential testing that are under the customer requirements clause and they're supposed to be doing it, next thing you know, you're going to have somebody from management that says, why did we spend an extra thousands of dollars in releasing these products where, that's not part of our scope of services with this particular customer. They're supposed to do all of those things, and we're just here to basically wait for the go signal or no go signal, and then we go to our other protocols. So make sure these are cleared, and make sure you have these particular statements signed off and keep for your records, for basically for clarification of your process, as well as removing any confusion in releasing the product, who's releasing the product, and when is it going to be released. Anyways, PCQI, let me end it there. Thank you again for your viewership. Like I said, if you see value to our content, please share this to our fellow PCQI and food safety professional. So till then, have a great day, stay strong, and bye for now. Contact us. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Thanks again, PCQIs. Have a good one.